everyone. Welcome back to Just Jaysa. As you know, I am Jaysa. And on Just Jaysa this Friday, we are starting our Commentary Fridays. And as you see, my amazing team, who I will introduce in a moment, will be joining me to talk about our topic. Right. So as you know, you need to make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, share the video, comment, all of the amazing things so we can get our subscribers up and get people on this gravy train, because it's super important to build this community. And I don't really know, it's really hard to get this type of promotion going because I am exhausted. As you guys know, I have a bunch going on. So if you hear my child cry in the background, mind your business. Just go with it. Right. So today's topic is codependent to independent to dependent. Now, mind you, when I made this topic, it was referring to my own life. So if we're talking about it and people are changing their order of the topic title, it's because it's relating to their life. As you know, we are completely raw and authentic here. So we want to make sure that we're exposing our vulnerability and just being completely open to everyone's experiences and perspectives. Please make sure you are kind. Do not be rude, because I will go there with you. We are my family. This is new. We're new. Don't do it. Love them. Awesome. So without further ado, this is the amazing team. These are the women with audacity. I will do another video where we're introducing them individually, because we are getting into it and we want to make sure everyone is just getting used to us and seeing us on this screen at least one Friday every month, right? So be prepared to get used to them, get to know them, have a little background. They don't know it yet, but I'm super excited. We're going to be taking pictures. Everybody got a little face. They all had the same face. Anyway, all right, so let's get straight into the topic. Guys, welcome back. Let's get straight into the topic. All right, so I guess I'll kind of throw out my perspective, and everybody, you're more than welcome to jump in, share your thoughts, or we can just go around however it feels natural. Please cut me off wherever. So you guys know my backstory. It is basically 2 marriages, and now I have a child. And for me, my order would be dependent to independent to codependent. And I put codependent last for me because I feel like I'd rather be codependent than dependent, just because it's some sense of like immaturity or adolescent mind. And I'd rather be codependent, right? So for me, I experienced my first marriage. It was absolute shambles. Absolutely terrible. I was a complete dependent and stuck with a degree and opportunity, and I was just stuck under another man, living his own dreams, trying to build his own career. Wild to me as I look at it now. And then I broke free, used my degree for good, got another degree, and began my career. Was really, making money, like real big girl money. I've never had a salary before, but that was super fun for me. But then I chose to become a mom and a stay-at-home wife, and now I have found myself in a codependent situation just because I'm not working. And whereas, yes, I'm capable of making my own, and I have my businesses and I have different things that I'm working toward, at the end of the day, if he doesn't go to work, I ain't got no food. And it's unfortunate for me because I have worked so hard to get to that independent stage, that it's okay because I trust him much more than my first. But it's also one of those where I struggle with wanting to be back in the independent stage, where I'm fighting to, break against my journey or the circumstances that I'm in order to reach that stage that I just feel comfortable in. But ultimately, we all go through different stages, and I'm curious, what are you guys' perspective on the topic?
Okay, so I can go next. So I know, I'll say I've experienced all 3 of them as far as the terms you used.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going more so back to when I was a kid, or more so living under my mom. I felt like a dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't make my own rules, my own thing. And then I became independent. I did go to school out of state, so I had that experience, and eventually my own apartment after moving back to my mom's house. But I eventually got my own apartment, so was able to experience that, being independent, not having to listen to anybody, doing my own thing, walking around the house, like I want to walk around the house. And then after that, I became a dependent again. I moved back in with my parents, save money. And then after that, I became a codependent, as you use the term, because I got married. And then now I'm back. I'm not going to say a dependent just because that makes me feel like younger or, you know, like a kid. But I am back with my parents. So I guess dependent in a way.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's definitely, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's hard to transition to, just because of like, how do you go to being independent, doing your own thing, back to like being with your parents, or even being married, living with a man. It's definitely difficult, but I feel like every experience is needed to make you be the person that you need to be. So, you know, I guess I need to be independent right now.
I know that's right. That's a great way. That's a great way to put it. That's where you need to be at the moment.
Yeah,
because girl, yeah. Can they tell us if debt comes with that? Because girl, as soon as I got divorced, I don't know.
I rack up with that every time. So it don't matter if I'm independent, codependent, dependent. I'm gonna make debt. I'm gonna rack up, and I'm gonna spend too much. And I'm gonna just be salty, broke somewhere.
Pretty much. That's exactly the same. It's okay. It ain't just you. I definitely, I can relate. Anybody else want to share? I know everybody's like scared on pressing the button because they went into check. Okay, I got you.
Okay, so honestly, right now I guess I'm still codependent because my mom pays for this apartment. You know what I mean? And my car insurance and stuff that's like a necessity. But it's also like, it's like I'm playing independent. Like I'm practicing right now. I'm just practicing, and it's really nice, and I love it so much. Because it's a different type of freedom that I didn't really know before. Like I can do everything my way, even the small stuff, like buying clear Windex instead of blue Windex, because that's what I like. Or
vinegar.
You know, like it's just really fun playing around and like having more control. I really like it. And then sometimes it's not all fun though. It's really not. It's a lot of hard work, and it's funny to even say that because I know that this is not even the half. Like I'm not paying for a lot of things. And I know that can come with stress, but it's hard out here. It's so hard, you guys. It's like every day you just have to go and go and go, or else things won't get done. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's nice. It's both. It's a lot. All right, that's it.
What you going through, girl? You like you about to cry. You was remembering.
You guys, it's so hard out here. So hard.
But I will say, even though, because you said, you know, like even you haven't started doing other stuff yet, like that still does, like that is still hard. Just like you said, coming from being at our parents' house to doing things our own, even those choices, like literally, I'm the same way. I like the clear one too. But even making those choices, like, oh shoot, let me call my mom. Like it's hard to get that way. So definitely don't, you know, undermine that. I definitely understand.
Thank you.
Feel like a therapy session.
Okay. So me, I think that I went from obviously dependence, I guess the starting point for everyone, starting with their parents. Then I think I had a taste of independent because my freshman year in college, I was far enough away to where I couldn't really rely on my mom as much. But not too far away to where she couldn't get to me, you know what I mean? But like I had to see her regularly and had to make my own decisions and, you know, handle my own business. And then my sophomore year, I came back to Atlanta. So I would say now I'm not back to dependent, but more so codependent, because just like the same thing Kaale was saying, you know, she doesn't pay on my rent, but like she still helps me in a lot of areas. And even not even just codependent with my mom, codependent with Kai. Like dinner the other day, like I wouldn't have eaten if Kai didn't make it. So like codependent with multiple people on multiple levels. Also, my girlfriend, codependent with her. We just lean on each other a lot. It's like I obviously don't see her every day because she goes to Albany State, but we talk all day. For emotional support, I guess. And you know, it's hard out here. Every has its challenges, and I don't know. Like she was saying, we're playing. I kind of feel like we're kids and adult at the same time. Like we go to school full time. We also go to work. We have bills. Like we're kind of doing everything right now. Just a little bit, dipping our toe in each section. But yeah, so I think I'm back at the codependent stage with multiple people.
Okay, I feel that. I definitely remember school too. Like same thing. I was far enough away, like 3 hours. So for me, I was living the dream. Y'all couldn't tell me a damn thing. Yes, you can cuss on this. We real, because you couldn't tell me a damn thing. You told me 11 o'clock. Play, I'm out at 11:30. I'm exhausted.
And who goes stop? You don't know.
Look, you can't tell me nothing. But it was one of those things. Like I didn't eat good. You know, it was just those decisions. And like you said, it's not necessarily playing, but you have to learn how to pay those bills on time. You have to remember, okay, if you're paying for your groceries, or even if you have a budget for groceries, you have to make that last. And if you don't, where are you gonna find that Dollar Tree money? Because I had Dollar Tree outside my campus, and that was where we all went. You know,
it was Play-Doh closet for me. In college, what? I want to Play-Dohs every weekend. I'm selling a purse, some shoes, something. I need some money for gas. Please, somebody buy something.
I'm trying to tell you. But it was one of those experiences like you need it. You definitely are going to keep going through it. And like me and Tavia both said, I've gone back to my mama's house plenty of time. Pause. Hold that thought. Y'all got it.
Jordan, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't trying to like push everybody ahead of me. I just didn't want to interrupt anybody. I really appreciate how all of these wonderful women just kind of real about how like it is, because I am the youngest, and I don't have even not that much longer than Lana, but still a year is a lot, a lot of experience. And when Jaysa posed this question, I kind of felt a combination of all three. I feel like I've always been in a combination, because I do live with my dad. He's a wonderful dad, single dad, always helped me through. But in terms of my heart, I'm a very hard on my sleeve kind of person. I was very dependent on my girlfriends in high school, you know, toxic girl groups. And then I wasn't necessarily being myself. And then I had a string of boyfriends, which were very codependent on for self-worth. And my security kind of lied within them instead of myself and with my God. And when all those relationships ended and I got into college and I started working up in the restaurant industry for 3 years, and then I got a little bit more dependent. I was making some money. I was going after what I wanted, and I definitely felt independent. But then, of course, you know, you always hit hard bumps, and I always was able to go back to my dad. And I do want to kind of say it's a combination of three, but I finally figured out where I want those lines to be. I'm dependent on the Lord for my self-worth, and I'm codependent with my dad because I do live here rent free. I'm very grateful, and he does help with groceries. I pay my own car insurance, especially since it was jacked up because I got in a car accident. But if I ever do need help, I can ask him. So he is just such a great support system, because he's always like, what do you want to do? We'll make it work. It's a partnership. It's not him holding over my head like, you're living here rent free, you know, not giving me any shame. So, but I do feel very also independent because I'm going for what I want, and I'm very happy to be a part of other ladies who are also going for it, because it's hard. It's really scary, especially being a woman in the workforce. I am at a workplace with a lot of other women, and also in an industry where the men, it's just hard. It's hard to prove yourself. You have to work 10 times as hard just to get some attention in the work industry when you're a woman. And I'm not trying to be like guys are sexist or anything. I'm just trying to show the reality that you kind of have to do twice as much work to get the same amount of credit. So yeah, that was long. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. That was definitely insightful. Same way Alana had pointed out, like the different aspects or points in your life where you can be codependent, independent, and all those other things, I think it's important how you pointed out being dependent upon the men for your self-value. Like that is so crazy because we don't acknowledge that as being something that we would see as a dependency. And when in reality, like we do it. We are constantly trying to find those things that make us have like spark or draw attention to us in order to fuel our own thoughts about ourselves. And that's like super huge. But I definitely love it. How would you guys say you've learned to get through those phases? Because like Tavia had pointed out, it's hard to transition from one phase to another. But when you're trying to process or like you're planning to go to a different phase, what would you say has been your thought process or your decisions that you may have made?
Definitely relied on the other ladies in my life, the good ladies like you, my mom, and just other wonderful women around you to kind of see the things that they've been through, where they were. One of my friends who was at a place where I was, and just kind of being reflective of trying to put everything into perspective and say, where do you want to go? Where are you at now? And where have you been that you don't want to ever be again? And kind of just work from there and just go one step at a time.
For me, I think it's important to like take a moment and be vulnerable with people, because a lot of times we keep a lot of our feelings to ourselves, not realizing that everyone around you feels the same way. It's like if you just open up to someone and tell them like what you're going through, how you feel, 9 times out of 10, someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, girl, you too. Like, you don't feel like that too." I just talk to the people around you, I think. And like Jordan was saying, like even your parents and things like that, even though they might not be going through that right now, they probably have at one point or another. So
I feel the same. I was actually going to say exactly what Alana said. Something that happened recently is at work, I was talking to my coworkers and I basically was just like, is everyone having a hard time? Because, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Like working and going to school is really hard, which I'm sure we've all experienced. So we all know there's no break, especially like this week I have 35 hours this week and I go to school full time. Sometimes I don't come home until 8:30 at night from school. So I was having a hard time with time management, and I was just venting to my coworkers like, this is hard for everyone. And when they were like, yeah, we're all struggling, it lifted so much pressure off of me, because I was thinking that it's my fault that I'm feeling that way, or like there's something wrong with me, the fact that I can't get accustomed to the routine so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, no, it's not just you. Like it's hard for everyone. It's just hard, and that's okay. So yeah, that's it.
So I'll definitely say for me, I agree with what Jordan said as far as just like number one, we definitely have to have a relationship with our God or like whoever, the universe, because like that's who's gonna help you make it through. But I'll say for me also just being grateful, because I definitely have my days where I'm like, oh my God, like is this life like really? But it's like everyone does not have the opportunity, like how we were all able to go and, depend on our parents, whether we're going back with them or asking them for money or anything like that. Like everybody does not have that option. So it's like, you definitely have to be grateful that you can experience that and that there are people to help you. So that's it for me, God and being grateful. And that's how you get through literally anything, honestly.
I would say mine was more of like a downfall that pushes me. That's usually how I get to most of my goals or decisions, is I hit like rock bottom. And I think just from where I started my dependency, like obviously I had my parents, that leaving the house was my first dependency, but from where I am currently, my first dependency, I literally had nothing coming out of that first marriage. Like barely had my dignity. It just felt wrong. And now that I'm here, I think that I'm still struggling with trying not to use a downfall as my way of getting forward. or changing or growing. And the same thing all of you guys said, like, obviously I have women surrounding me, even men, like my dad. I'm really close with him more than I have been in the past. And that obviously has helped me. God has helped me. You know, there's so many different people in my life, there's opportunities that have come up that have pushed me, but the consensus has always been some sort of hardship that just motivates me. Okay, you got to get this done. You got to go from one transition to another. And I think that's a reason why I also struggle so much with sitting in my celebration periods. Like when we think about these transitions, yes, being a dependent, it doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like something you want to do. However, that's still an opportunity, because like you said, David, not everyone has that opportunity. So to be able to be a dependent, you may not celebrate it the same way you would in your independent phase, but it's still important to make sure that you experience those moments without like really dwelling on how bad it is. And then even in your independent moments, because I mean, I really did enjoy what I did. And I was, like I said, that was my first time I've ever had a salary. But instead of focusing on that, I was trying to get to the next phase. I was trying to find some opportunity to make myself feel more valuable, or like I was constantly trying to compete with myself. And, you know, when we do stuff like that, we're just sitting there, because where are you going? You know, like your journey is here and you're just on a damn wheel trying to get somewhere else, and it's backwards. So I definitely admire you guys' answers, because I feel like it's more wholesome and it's stable to a certain extent. You know, like it's something that you can really look forward to, or can make sure will always have your back and be there when, yeah, I'm telling you, it's really difficult and you never feel just whole. Like you're always trying to search for something new, and it really kills you. It really kills your dreams. It makes you more drained and exhausted. Because yes, Kai, remember, school and work, not easy. That it's very stressful trying to keep up with yourself and make sure you're living your life and not making crazy impulsive decisions because of something that happened. It definitely takes its toll. And I definitely am curious about other people too, because whereas yes, we all have that real solid dependency stage where we had help, I am curious to know like what other people deal with in the sense of having to do it, you know, or starting in that independent stage, because there are a lot of people that start there and maybe they view that dependency stage as another obstacle, or even as, you know, a beauty. Like that's the best moment for them because they have someone that they can depend on, if that makes sense. But does anyone else have any more thoughts? I won't keep it too long just because this is our first one and I want to make sure everyone is comfortable. Does anyone else have any more thoughts on this topic? Not really. Everybody saying hi? You saying hi? Say yes. Crashing the video. All right. Well, I definitely enjoyed this topic. Obviously, we'll do more topics and make sure that we're sharing our links. We do have the SheEO coming up for the next Wednesday. I believe it's the 4th. So we'll make sure we're there and that we're sharing. And to get other women on, we have like a long list. I think I'm booked for the SheEOs up until like December. So that's super awesome. Yes. And I had to change it from once a month to every Wednesday. So that is super awesome. And that's really dope to make sure that we have these women that have a platform to really promote their businesses and promote their passions and their experiences. But you're also able to join our chats with all of your amazing ladies with Audacity. So next time, please make sure you sign up. So by the end of the month, you are on this panel with us discussing the many topics. And please make sure you look out on all of our social media platforms for all of October's thumbnails. I am planning the topics for our Just Jaysa Fridays, as well as sharing the SheEOs that will be joining us on Wednesday of October. All right. So as always, thank you so much for coming and talking with us. Make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and come back next Friday. Woohoo! All right, guys. Bye.